Okay, I think we're on. Hello and welcome.
Oh, hello.
To the 707 show. And I'm Moira Bush.
And I'm Nadira Dyalsingh.
And Nadira and I are here tonight to talk about
self-compassion.
Yeah.
We do the follow-up from last season's compassion program.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was season 2, and you came on and we spoke about compassion, and we actually had Shannon Fraser was on the sofa with us, and now you've come back to take it a step further. Okay. Yes. So for those of you who joined us for the first time, welcome, and we would love it if you could join the 707 Facebook group. And that way you can actually participate in the show. So Michael, you'll very soon see Michael, our producer, putting up a screen with all the comments so we can see who's joining us, watching and commenting on the show. But you have to be a member of the group because we go live from the group. That's my housekeeping.
Oh, that's good.
I have to do housekeeping. So let's have a look who's come on here. Okay, Joe has come on. Excellent. Hello, Joe.
Joe.
It's nice that you've joining us. Tonight's subject is compassion, and specifically being self-compassionate, being compassionate with yourself. So I love that. Okay, so we would ask if you could share it because that will help bring some people on board as well to be alerted that we are going live. Shannon and Sue Nodeo has joined us. Hello, Shannon and Sue. Welcome, my darlings.
Shannon.
Okay, Shannon, we're missing you. You were on the show the last time we spoke about compassion, and Nadira has returned because she's going to take it up a level, up a notch.
Yep. Now we're going to talk about ourselves
and compassion. Because you know what happened last time, of course. You and Shannon sat here with us on the set, and we were speaking about being compassionate to other people. And the next thing, Shannon was telling us how her cousin had been volunteering at the school in the Philippines and was just devastated that they didn't have writing materials, toys, toothbrushes, you name it. They were just so impoverished. So we're sitting here and going, oh, well, why don't we just gather stuff that we have and send it to them? And that's exactly what we did. So we spent about 2 months just gathering toys and toothbrushes. We had a lot of toothbrushes coming.
Oh, yeah.
And toothpaste and writing papers and pens. And we gave it to Shannon's cousin to then pass on to the school for us. So that's what resulted there. We had a compassionate project because of that, right?
Yeah.
So this show is going to be about ourselves, being compassionate to ourselves. So no charity drives tonight, okay? Yeah. that took some coordinating. So we're definitely going to be compassionate with ourselves. Let's see who else has joined us. Joanne, hello Joanne. Norma Jean, hello Norma Jean. And Anna Pino has joined us as well. So guys, please share immediately hit the share button, and that way the people will be alerted that we're live, and that it can pop up on the news feed. Yeah. Okay. So shall we get going, girl?
Oh, yes.
So what is self-compassion? What do you call it?
I said it's acting on the knowing oneself. There's action and there's knowing yourself.
So there's action and knowing yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
So the action, if you remember from the last time, compassion is the action.
And we took action because we did the charity last time. Yeah, yes. We did. Now it's the knowing.
Knowing yourself. You're acting on knowing yourself.
Okay.
And so
how do you get to know yourself? Well, what?
In my terms, knowing yourself, I do like self-reflection. So I get to learn about myself. And in self-reflection, it's like self-awareness. So from the self-reflection, we become aware of ourselves.
Okay, so you need to give us an example then of how do you self-reflect?
You take moments, like mindfulness, or you can even go into meditation. You take quiet times and you think about the moment, what has just happened. You may be in a situation like you're nervous about, so be aware of your emotions, your feelings, your whole physical reaction. And by knowing that, then you become aware of how you respond. How you're responding.
Okay, so it's like that time. And guys, if you agree with us, we'd love you to give us some nice pink hearts tonight. So if you almost pull yourself out and observe what you're saying and doing, that is self-reflecting, and then when you examine or analyze what you've just said and done and why you've done it, you become more aware, because the next time the same situation presents, you're going to be self-aware and not react in the same way. You're going to react in a more compassionate way. So in a different way, right?
Yeah, in a different way.
Okay.
Some in a way that you're not so stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you become self-aware, and so you act on the self-awareness. What is it you need to change or not to change in that situation if it comes up the next time? So you get to know yourself more.
Yeah.
And it's only in these situations.
And it's only when you know yourself that you can be compassionate towards yourself.
Yes, you can take action.
I love the way you've pulled that together. So if you self-reflect, you become self-aware, you are then able to be more compassionate towards yourself.
Yeah.
I love that.
So you know where to take action.
And this has actually been your personal process, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know we were upstairs chatting a little bit about this, and I love it. Okay. So, and then you said to me that you think for people to be self-compassionate, they have to develop actions. They have to do some. You know how it is. Even in the business world, everyone always says you got to take action, right? So even to be self-compassionate, you have to do self-development actions.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think we need to ask our viewers here tonight, guys. Self-compassion, great topic.
Thanks,
Shannon says yes, she's working with the embassy to get it delivered without them being taxed. She was so shocked and grateful for the support. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. And Shannon also says, love your scarf, Nadira. It's rose pink. She's wearing the rose gold lady colours, and she didn't even know it, and she walked in with this beautiful scarf. Okay, so what we'd like to ask you is, what do you do for self-development? What do you do to become more self-aware, to develop yourself, to reflect upon yourself, so that you can be more self-compassionate towards yourself? So we'd like to know what your self-development practices are. So, and if you could pop them in, that would be just really... Like, they keep talking about you looking saucy and the lipstick and the scarf and the glasses. I mean, hello, we're talking about self-compassion here. Now we're talking...
Hey, I'm taking care of myself.
I knew it was going to go this way. It is exactly that, and you personify that. Your hair's done, your makeup's done, and Jan's right. You're looking beautiful and radiant tonight. But that's because you do self-care, and you've been looking after yourself. Yeah. I quite agree. Lovely, Jan. Thank you for all the compliments and the hearts. We love it. Okay, so what we want to know from you guys is, what do you do to develop yourselves, spiritually develop yourselves, and
like spirituality.
Tell me, what do you do?
I learned to meditate. And actually, most of my learning, in terms of self-development, came about 3 years ago when I joined the Colomir's program. And thanks to Melissa Jolie, and thanks to you, and thanks to my friend Debbie in the UK,
she linked us, didn't she?
Yeah. So before, I would read books, I would watch the TV, pick up even just one sentence, just to think, oh, that is what was happening with me. Oh, that make me feel better. Oh, I will try that. But it never really stick. Like the next time the situation comes up, oh, I'm all stressed out again. Because it wasn't grounded in me. What the self-awareness at the time wasn't really grounded in me, so I go back.
So you got to the reflection, the awareness, but never the action, never the self-development action, and that was until 3 years ago. I
joined the Colomer system, and then I realized the changes, the shift. It's really a shift in thinking. And through that thinking, your actions then follow. So with the Colomer system, using it really solidify the awareness and the action. And so when the self-reflection when I had to self-reflect again, it was on a next level.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And the self-awareness was coming faster.
So literally the energy raised it, and Nadira, honestly, and of course most of us on the 707 show are hosts and have studied Melissa's color mirror system, and we try to keep our topic as general as we can, but color mirrors is going to creep into the conversation at some point because it has such a huge impact on our lives. And I think it's because we were taught by Melissa that you can intellectualize a process or a spiritual theory, but the body is the last place of resistance. The body resists change. Your mind, you can make up your mind that you're going to go on a diet, but the next time your body sees a cake, like we did upstairs, we just had a piece of cake, red velvet cake, your body goes, I want, and it doesn't want to change. So by bathing in the color mirror system and using those tools, it was able to shift it at a cellular level. And I think that's the key. It's to get into the body, get that frequency into the body and shift the entire body, not just the mind and the heart, but the entire body, the cell right at the tip of your fingers even. And that's why it's such a tangible shift that you have.
Because like each cell has a memory, and in my thinking, each cell has a memory. So it just everywhere in every level, inside the body, all your auras, it just shifts. It just spiritually. And so physically you change. And intellectually, yes. Socially you change because you're so excited about it. You want to it's like you learn through you and raising your vibration. Everybody else notice you, they want to learn something. You're different. And it's the frequency is going,
and it's that holisticness that you get from color and sound therapy. I have to say does the same thing, because sound and color have that frequency. So whenever you immerse yourself in colors and sound, you're going to have that holistic approach. So the way that you change is spiritually, intellectually, mentally, socially, emotionally. What else did we put down there? We have a whole list. We have a script. A script. But I agree. So what we want to know, come on guys, we want to know from you. Let's have a look. Shannon says, okay, because the question is, what do you do to develop yourself? And Shannon says meditation.
Gratitude journaling.
Same as you, meditation. Daily gratitude journaling. Talking with other spiritually aligned friends. Michael, hit see more for me there so we can see what's there. Ask myself every day, how can I serve?
That's great. I do the same. How can I serve? Because then you start thinking of the service for others. And if you can give service for others, you're developing yourself as well. You're nurturing yourself. You're nurturing your own compassionate self by serving others.
Serving
so that's great.
But you have to be careful here, because if you just give and it becomes about others all the time, you mustn't miss the trick, which is self-compassion.
The self-reflection is very important in the whole process. So when you do something for somebody, and at the end of the day you think, well, what did I do today? Oh, I did such and such. How did I feel?
And if you're tired, go sleep. That's an act of compassion.
Right. So but I'm aware now of how I feel. So what am I going to do next time not to feel like this? Does this feeling serve me? No.
Does that?
You have to ask, does it serve me? Does it not serve me? And you can even look and see how the other person responded. Was it good for them? Did it give a good outcome? What can I do different? Those questions as well nurture yourself. When you do for others, it nurture yourself.
So even the act of self-analysis or looking at reflecting is an act of compassion for yourself. I love that. Okay, Joanne says meditation, daily gratitudes, faith, trusting the process has been my saving grace. So what we want to ask is, so if you how do you know, what is the trigger? How do you know when you have to go into self-compassion? What triggers come in that says you have to be compassionate with yourself? Because it's easy to have triggers when you're watching people in the outside world and know when you have to be compassionate to them. But what are the triggers that says I now have to be compassionate with myself? What triggers you?
It's compassion fatigue. Some people go into compassion fatigue.
Yeah.
They're giving, and they're not taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to reflect on yourself. That will tell you what you actually need. That's the knowing. When they say it is acting on the knowing of yourself, that's the knowing. You really have to learn to know yourself. Some people say, I know myself, but really, do you really know the depth of it?
Yeah.
Because like in the past, somebody asked me to do something, it doesn't matter what I'm doing for myself, I leave and go do whatever they ask, and mine get left back and left back and left back and left back. Does it serve me? Does it really in the future give me the energy and the boost and the vitality to help them? No. I'm draining, and then when I'm totally drained, I thought, I'm really sorry, but I really need to rest. You don't want to reach at that point. You want to break that circle.
So tiredness is a trigger point. Yeah. Okay. Laurie says, when I judge myself for not getting things right.
Yes.
That is a trigger point to become more self-compassionate, Laurie. Thank you for that one. That's a big one, eh?
Thank you. That's a big one, and coming with forgiveness. Yeah, you have to forgive yourself.
And step into compassion. Instead of judging yourself, be compassionate to yourself. One of the things I remember Melissa taught me was, is to say to yourself, you're only doing the best you can in that moment.
Yes.
And that will invoke yourself to be more compassionate to the situation that you're in, or what you're feeling at that time. So you're only doing the best you can in that moment, and that it is good enough as it is in that moment.
Yeah.
And so go into compassion instead of judgment. Joanne says, dealing with an ill family member, I was overextending myself to take care of my family members. I had to take a step back once I felt physically tired, over emotional. I pulled back, sent myself home, allowed myself to talk to my higher self and angels. I cried as a form of release, and I slept.
That's recognizing, and it's great that Joanne, is great that you recognize that, and it's great that you could go home and sleep and talk to your higher self. All those things will give you back the energy you need and raise your vibration, so you can help them again. But you're nurturing and uplifting yourself, and that's what's needed. And crying the release, that's helpful as well. Yeah. And in that release, you're recognizing and appreciating the experience. Because with either experience, positive or negative, we learn from it, we grow from it. And if you could self-reflect and be aware of those experiences and the learning from those experiences, then you can move on. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Joanne, thanks for sharing that. And we have been sending you prayers to your aunt and your family, darling. Shannon says, I usually feel overwhelmed with frustration, disappointment, or angry at myself. Those emotions of going into judgment of myself is my trigger that I need to be more compassionate. If you're disappointed and angry in yourself. Now those are triggers too.
Those are triggers, and those are big triggers. You have to learn to forgive again. Forgiveness comes in so many aspects, in healing yourself, healing the way of thinking, the whole frustration. It comes with a perfection, because you want to be perfect.
So forgiveness and compassion have a relationship.
Yeah.
One that works with the other.
Yes, because with the forgiveness, you have to let go of the feeling of wanting to be perfect. You have to let go of the feeling that you're judging yourself. It's like when you, okay, so if you step out from yourself and you look, so I'm looking at myself over there, I'm judging myself. I want myself to be like somebody else. I want to be doing the same things as somebody else. Because who am I comparing with when it comes to judgment? It's somebody else, or some event that happened. Why couldn't I be there? I'm not good enough to be there. I can't reach there. Or she's more pretty. Oh, her clothes are nicer. Those judgment, you're comparing yourself. But you have to let go, forgive. This is me. I'm lovely. It's the mirror talk. I learned about the mirror talk in color mirrors. I didn't know what to look in the mirror. So I was thinking, what am I seeing? This is just Nadira. But I didn't see the depth of Nadira.
Yeah.
So getting frustrated and getting disappointed, yes, but think back. Why? Again, is self-reflection. Why am I frustrated? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I disappointed?
And when you became more compassionate to your body, to your mind, to yourself, did you notice that things around you were different?
Things were different. There was an easier flow to get things done. There was an easier flow in life. There was an easier flow to communicate with people, or to be with people, meet people, or at work, or going to church, or anyway, meeting strangers. Like, you walking on the road, and these days you don't hear somebody saying, oh, good morning, and all of a sudden smile, good morning. Life becomes easier. There's an easier flow. There's an easier flow between people. This is an unseen flow. Like the frequency, the vibration is it's unseen.
Well, I know I've been sitting here thinking what my trigger is that kicks me into self-compassion, and that's boundaries. Because if I had an incident today, I've been pretty much going since about 4:30 this morning. And there's so much that Michael and I have to be doing right now in the business, and the phone kept ringing, and I was trying to finish the manuals. I've got a 60-page manual I had to edit because we're starting an 8-week ascension course tomorrow, and I needed to edit it and get everything to fit the letter size, because it came from the UK. All the material came from the UK, and I had to change it, and the to-do list at the back of my head was just this long. And then there was this one phone call that almost took me over the edge, and I just went, I can't deal with this now, because if I keep getting distracted and don't say no to a call now, then I'm not going to finish the task I wanted to finish today, and be in a nice space tonight to be with you. So I recognize that for me to serve compassionately and to turn up here and have fun, and I had to be in compassion for myself. So it actually happened to me today. I had to say no and say I will take phone calls and speak on Friday when I'll have a gap in my schedule for phone calls. So I wonder if you guys get that, where you don't say no, you don't have those boundaries, and that could be the trigger point to say you need to be kinder to yourself, more compassionate to yourself.
That's a big one for me, boundaries.
Especially us healers, we can't say no, because if we say no, they might die on us.
And sometimes you don't know where to stop. In helping them, and it becomes like you want to fix them. Like you want to take away all the pain, or you want to do everything for them, so you relieve them completely. And you can't. You don't give them the chance to
because
experience.
It says self-reflection, self-awareness. It has to be something you have to do yourself. Actually, I had a young lady I was having a conversation with the other day about it, and I said, I know the situation you're in right now, and I actually can't help you, because you have to be the one that makes that switch in your head that says, I'm now going to be the power in my life. I'm not going to make the change. I can't do it for you. And then you can beat yourself up as a teacher, going, well, did I teach them enough? Did I not teach them the right way? Did I miss something? Have I not been a good mentor? I found at the back of my head, I started going this night, and I heard myself, and I stopped myself, knowing, no, leave it. You've done everything you're supposed to do, and now you and compassion had to come in it again. Compassion for myself that I've done everything I'm supposed to do, and it's now the power is actually now in this young lady's hands to go and do what she needs to do with her life.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it for them. It's self-awareness. It's self-development.
Yes.
It's self-compassion.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you giving her the information, it's like she reading a book. Yeah. So she's taking that information and she is taking action to develop herself.
Action.
Yes. So she can only get so much from a page. Yeah. And then if when she develops herself from that information from that page, then she turns it. So she comes back and you give her more information that's needed at the time.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
I love it. Okay. Shannon says forgiveness, compassion go hand in hand. Spot on. I'm usually comparing myself to what I thought it should be. Some made up measurement I created in my head. We all have those little measurements in our head. I'm supposed to be a better teacher. I was just talking about that measurement. Yeah. But it's I love this because what we have here is let's just summarize it up for our viewers if they have just joined us. What we have is if you're going to practice compassion for others, you must not forget to practice self-compassion. Okay. And self-compassion is the acting on the knowing of oneself. And then what did you say was the knowing of oneself?
The knowing is the self-reflection and becoming self-aware.
That leads to self-awareness. And then the crucial third step, my darlings, this is the one we almost is to take action. Yeah. You must do something to develop yourself. Self-development processes are very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most common ones is like eating right, resting, drinking a lot of water, doing exercise, meditation, yoga, anything like that. But you can go even further, traveling, nice places.
Yeah.
Yes, greenery, going, walking bare feet on the grass, grounding yourself.
Not yet. The summer. I'm waiting for summer.
Not summer yet in Canada.
Not summer yet in Canada. Okay. So, Nadira, thank you for this subject. And it's so nice that we could have last season, in season 2, the subject of compassion, and it was about compassion for others, and we could look at it again and go, compassion for self. So I remember when you were talking about this as a subject you wanted to do as a co-host and you want to write about in the book that we're going to be producing, that you said it's such a vast subject, and you could just for several seasons just talk about compassion because there's so much to it.
It's very interesting, and we only think of others as healers. We only think of others. We don't realize how much we need to take care of ourselves, and so it becomes bigger and bigger the more you think about it. And if you think about all the holistic way, and you separate them into spirituality, intellectually, physically, emotionally, mentally, and socially. If you take each one separately, it's a huge topic.
It is. Oh, and mentioning socially, on Friday evening, Dwayne Richards, one of our friends and co-TV host here on the 707 show, he's actually gathering anybody who's interested, who follows us on the Magenta show, the 707 show, who's interested in color mirrors, who's interested in spiritual subjects and topics, to come to his party pad in the condo and have a color party. And I think it's about $20, and there's drinks and snacks, and you can get a free reading and free session. And I believe he's been telling everybody you're going to touch them. Dwayne!
I'm going to practice therapeutic touch.
Therapeutic touch. She's not going to touch them.
No, it's not a touching thing.
We gotta love Dwayne. Fabulous. So if you're interested, you can find the advert either under Dwayne Richards, or you can look under Moira Bush, and you'll see we've put the event several times up there. It's on Facebook. The 7th, so, and the weather promises to be fantastic.
Oh yes, I think it's from 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock onwards. It's a beautiful views of the city. It's a fantastic pad. and the weather's going to be great.
Yep.
So it's going to be lots and lots of fun.
Yeah, be nice. It'll be fun.
I'll be there. I'll have the biggest glass of wine in my hands because I'll be semi on duty. Because I can't have wine. My producer says I can only have, what have I got here? Apple juice. No wine.
It looks like wine. Don't worry.
Nadira. So I think that's us, and just to say that next Borka, hello. Oh, we haven't heard from Borka for a while. Hello, darling. We do miss you.
Thanks, Joanne.
She's your fan tonight, though, Joanne.
Thank you.
So next week on the 707 show, every season we have an audition, and we ask somebody in the group to send in an audition tape and to see whether they'd like to have a go at being a co-host and a guest here on the set. And in season 3, we have the incredible Gillian Small. She's just published a book. She's a spiritual author. She's a transformational coach. She does EFT. And a whole bunch of incredible therapeutic practices that she has. She's just a powerhouse of a woman, and she's going to be here next week, the 11th of June.
Wow!
So
nice
we hope you can tune in, and we'll have some fun. Yeah. So my darlings, that's us.
Yeah. Thank you for this experience. Thank you everybody for watching.
What are we going to do for self-compassion right now?
A glass of wine.
I love her. Love you. Bye, darling. See you next week. Would you like...